Hey viewers, welcome back to Mom and Jess Moment Talk Show. So today we're taking a topic we refer to as rejection, dealing with rejection. This is in the self-management series because as we all know, at one point in time, as an individual, that feeling of loneliness or feeling of rejection could be one thing that an individual might be dealing with. And it might not be everyone, but I believe that at some point in time in one's life, you have that feeling. And it's very important that one should pay attention to certain things that could, be the reason for rejection. For instance, we'll look at an example of an individual that was brought up in a home where he or she actually always felt neglected or ignored, probably because he or she was not a favorite child and all that. So that is an instance of rejection, and such a person could grow into adulthood and constantly have that feeling of rejection, if he or she doesn't take time to acknowledge and purposefully work on it. So rejection basically is just a feeling of not being accepted in the society, in the family, or whatever the case might be. So we might just want to look at certain causes of rejection. In my own opinion, there are several causes of rejection. For instance, as I gave an example, family or familial rejection is when the rejection comes from your family or your parents, due to one reason or the other. A family could just turn against an individual, and then he feels left out, if he or she feels unaccepted and all that. That could be an instance or case of familial rejection. We also have social rejection, where a person or individual just feels socially rejected by the society he or she finds herself in. And this could be as a result of several reasons, which I really might not want to go into details about, but at some point in time, yes, one can just feel rejected by the society or not acceptable for he or her kind of personality or attitude, or whatever the case might be. Moving on, it could also affect a child, found in a school environment where he or she is being bullied. So that also is an instance of social rejection, where a child is being bullied at school, or someone at the place of work. You just discover that people turn against you, at your place of work and all of that. So as I said earlier, several reasons could result to this. So those are the two basic kind of rejections. But the third one, on the final note I would love to end with, is a relationship rejection, where probably your partner just resents you, or just doesn't accept you for who you are and all of that. So that could also count in when it has to do with relationships. So basically, those are the types of rejections that one could face in one way or the other. And then moving on, we'll also love to understand, why people go through rejection. There could be instances that could lead to this, and instances could be based on the fact that probably there was something, the person constantly does that, repulses people around. Probably it has to do with your character or nature or attitude. But on the other hand, there are people that just, find themselves not acceptable by certain, people around them. And basically, it just has to do with you accepting the fact, or acknowledging the fact that, okay, this feeling that you keep getting of being rejected, acknowledging that this is a feeling and dealing with it. Because sometimes people just hide behind that feeling, and they suppress themselves, or they go into a shell, or try to hide themselves away, and that will lead to loneliness, sometimes depression. So I believe that, first of all, if you are faced with one kind of depression or the other, or rejection or the other, first of all, acknowledging that feeling that, okay, this is how I feel, and then doing something about it. Basically, there are so many people that are doing well that maybe probably when they started, people never really just gave a hoot on what they do, or just didn't accept them for what they are. But I believe that, rejection is not the end of the world. One could just try to see how to make the best out of it, try to see the positive out of it. If there are attitudes or behaviors or characters that you need to work on concerning your life, you trust God to help you, because basically, probably you might not be able to do it on your own. That's if it's on your own side. But if you know that you have a genuine relationship with God, and God has acknowledged and accepted you for who you are, and basically you're on a journey or relationship with God, I believe that He is the foundation and the source of everything. The most important relationship to keep is your relationship with God. I mean, if the whole world has rejected you and you still have God on your side, then that is something good to hold on to. So basically acknowledging, that feeling, and then secondly, trying to build on your relationship with God to guide you. If there are areas in your life that you need to work on, if there are things you need to do, and then thirdly, try to see the positive out of it. At some point in time, we will face rejection. Sometimes you submit papers for publishing, or apply for jobs, you get rejected. So rejection could come in different ways. Those are also feelings of rejection, and definitely when you get them, nobody likes to be rejected. But I tell you, it should be a stepping stone for greatness. You shouldn't see it as something that will make you back down and back off. They say that winners never quit. Winners never quit, and quitters never win. So if you quit, you will never win. And if you want to be a winner, you have to accept failures. You have to accept that sometimes that quitting will come. Don't give in. Don't fall down and remain on the floor. Get up and keep going. If you've tried this door and it's locked, it's not moving, try the next door. And as you do this, you seek the inspiration from the Holy Spirit. You seek direction from the Holy Spirit, because doing it with your own wisdom or strength, or being, trying to see how you can, play around with human wisdom, it might not go far, it might not help you, might not even know if it's actually meant for you. Sometimes these rejections we get are actually God just protecting us from certain things that might harm us in the future. So we should just try to see the good even in the rejection. We should try to see the best out of it, gain the best out of it, try to turn it into your means to grow up, your means for growth, your means for productivity. We remember the issue of the pandemic last year when it hit, the whole world. So many people lost their jobs and all that, but it was an opportunity for so many people that lost their jobs to discover so many potentials and innate abilities in them. And they brought it forth, and it was able to yield, businesses. I know a lot of people that started businesses and it's booming, it's fruitful. So many even quitted their jobs in order to work on this passion they discovered during the course of the pandemic. So you can see, every form of rejection, every form of failure, every form of, not being accepted by people is an opportunity for you to, discover yourself more, get to acknowledge yourself, have some empathy for yourself, have some understanding for yourself, and don't beat too much of yourself. Learn to forgive yourself. And basically, if you are doing the right thing and if you are working with God, if there are things that God is constantly reminding you to work on concerning your character, your behavior, your attitude, just do that if needs be. And most of all, trust the Holy Spirit. In everything you do, trust the Holy Spirit to guide you, trust the Holy Spirit to direct you. Trust the Holy Spirit to comfort you. Regardless, the comfort of the Holy Spirit is paramount. I mean, with it, you can't even begin to feel rejected, even when the society or the reality looks like it. So I would love to stop here, and then please hold on to meet up with our amazing guests to do justice to this topic. So until then, see you next time. God bless you. Bye.